Once upon a time, there was a tigress. She was pregnant with a cub. And she was so close to giving birth, and she was extremely hungry. She needed to eat to nurture the young tiger cub within her. So she came towards the edge of a kind of a medium cliff, and she saw down below some goats. And this was the only food she'd seen in weeks. This was her only chance to be able to get some nourishment. Even though it was extremely high, she knew that she had to take the risk to leap. So in the right moment, she leapt off and crashed down onto the goats. And the strength of the impact shot the young cub out from her. So she gave birth, but that same shock caused her to die. So she dies, and there's this small young tiger cub. And all the goats come back and they begin to lick it. Because what is there to be afraid? We know that nature does this, right? Sometimes a sheep can raise a baby wolf because it's love. Nature just knows something about an infant. Doesn't matter if it's not yours. It evokes that kind of love and tenderness, even in animals. So they begin to lick this little cub, and they get the cub to become one of their own. So he joins them. So he would do everything that all the goats would do, travel with them, everything. But the thing is, as he grew up, this tiger became a miserable specimen of the tiger species. Not that he was unhappy, but that he's not meant to eat grass, right? It's just not how tigers are meant to grow, right? And just be kind of going along like this. And so one day it happened that a fierce tiger came, and he slaughtered one of the goats. And as he was about to pull away, he saw this little tail behind a rock, and it wasn't a goat tail. And around peers this little cub, and the cub gazes into the eyes of this tiger, and the ferocity and intensity of those eyes. And while he was afraid, he was also deeply attracted. He was drawn to those eyes. He sensed and recognized something in them. The tiger looked at him and said, "What are you doing here amongst these goats?" And the little tiger cub goes, "Bah! Bah!" Right? In his goat language, "Don't eat me, don't eat me." And this tiger goes, "Oh my God, what am I going to do with this?" He'd never seen anything like this in his life. He's like, "I got to rescue this poor cub." So he goes and grabs him in his maw and pulls the other goat that he killed. And they go, and he's taking this little cub towards his cave. On the way to the cave, there's a still pond, completely still, mirror-like, reflecting the sky. And he takes this little cub and puts his face over the pond, and then he extends his large head over the pond until the reflection of each is seen. And he says, "Look at who you are. You're not a goat. Look at my face. You are like me. This is who you are. Do you understand?" And something clicks. For the first time, this little cub recognized his own face. And so he takes the cub into the cave, and he gives a hunk of flesh and says to this cub, "Eat this." And the little cub goes, "I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian." Yeah, he doesn't want to eat it. And then the tiger goes, "You're not a vegetarian. You're a tiger just like me. You eat this." And he gives it ribs and says, "Eat it." So he starts to eat it. And in the beginning, it's difficult. He's never eaten his true food before, this flesh. But as he eats this true food for him, what he is meant to eat, all of a sudden he begins to feel this new kind of energy and vigor returning into his body. He begins to feel the strength in his muscles and sinews. His hair begins to get a beautiful sheen. His teeth grow even sharper. His eyes, the mist that was in them lifts. And then, after eating this food of truth, and don't we all find truth unpalatable in the beginning, but the more we eat it, do we not become stronger? Upon eating this food more and more, he found his roar. And when he had his voice of truth, roar out with his roar. The tiger said, now you're ready. Leave. You don't need to be with me anymore. Go out with your roar into the world and find your place in the order of things. And that is the story. And that is the story. Story of yoga.